In this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 things you can do to deal with betrayal trauma. Oof. Look, I touched on this in one of my other videos in terms of somebody plotting against you, but betrayal trauma, that's a big deal, man, and it hurts. Like when you know you've been betrayed by a family member, a lover, a friend, co-worker, doesn't matter. That hurts a lot. And we're going to get into this in this video on the 5 things you can do to deal with betrayal trauma. All right. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right. I'm all smiles, because that's part of my intro. But this is a bit of a heavy topic. And I just thought to cover this. I was inspired because I was recently betrayed. So I was recently betrayed by a family member and who I thought was a friend. All of this came in the period of like a couple weeks back to back, right? And it hurts, man. It hurts when somebody betrays you. And I figured, you know what? I've been betrayed several times in the past from family members and from friends and from coworkers. And I've kind of come up with these 5 things on what I do to deal with betrayal trauma. Okay, so that's what we're going to get into today. All right, so just taking a look at my notes. So number 1 is accept that it's not your fault. All right, that they've betrayed you. You've done nothing wrong. Most likely you've done nothing wrong, and it's on them. They've done that because they're insecure. They've done that because they're greedy. They're seeking power, whatever. And they have no regard for the history that you've had together and the loyalty that you've had together. This is something that it's a broken switch on their end on why they've betrayed you. Okay, so that's number 1, is to accept it's not your fault. Number 2, take a day to decompress. And man, if this means like staying home, crying, grabbing a blanket, sleeping, having a couple drinks, whatever, ordering some takeout, like just give yourself that day to just decompress, like I said, because it's heavy, bro. I understand. It's like this knife is in your back and you're like, what the hell just happened? Okay, so give yourself that day to decompress. All right. Number 3 is treat yourself to something. Like in the moment of depression, now don't make this a habit, because you can very well start treating yourself when something goes well for yourself, and treat yourself when things go bad for yourself. And then all of a sudden you find yourself, you're constantly treating yourself. You don't want that. So don't get me wrong. So what I mean is, but when something just really nasty happens, right? Treat yourself to this shirt that you've been looking at. Nothing too expensive, but I mean, just take a look at, go on to Amazon, take a look at this thing and buy it. Treat yourself to a nice meal. Again, you want to try and switch your brain to stop thinking negative and think positive, okay? And to disassociate the negative, right? So treating yourself, that's a good way to do that. Number 4 is to not give up on yourself. And as I mentioned in number 1, that this isn't your fault. And a lot of people can get into this tailwind of depression, right? So you don't want to give up on yourself. You want to push forward. There's sadly a woman in my building that is a drunk, and she drinks herself to oblivion almost every single night because she can't deal with the things happening in her life, the negatives, right? She feels obviously stuck in this whirlwind of pain, and so she tries to drown it out by drinking. And the thing is, little does she realize that if this keeps going, not only is her health going to be seriously affected because she has passed out and fallen right in the middle of the street. Ambulance has been called. She's had black eyes, bumps on her head, whatever. But also, she runs a risk of getting evicted from the building. Because if she keeps coming in drunk and lying there on a couch, passed out, that kind of thing in the lobby, and she's making a scene with other residents, they're eventually going to evict her. She's going to end up getting a DUI charge with her car. You know what I mean? It's this tailwind of things. So she's drowning. She's trying to drown out the misery instead of facing it straight on. And she's already given up on herself, right? So that's number 4, is to not give up on yourself. And number 5, last, is you need to move on and get over it. It happened, okay? So it happened. You need to move on. And most importantly, cut that piece of shit out of your life. And I'm saying it like this. I'm not mincing words. Somebody who betrays you is a piece of shit. You want nothing to do with them in your life. They are toxic. They are a cancer. And they will be this disease in your body, sucking the life out of you. Like this woman who's a drunk, right? This fiance that she has is a toxic piece of shit, but she stays in that. So it's causing toxicity in her, and now she's a drunk. See what I mean? So you need to eliminate people like that in your life. Completely cut them off, cold turkey, and be ruthless about it. Okay? In one of my videos, I talked about, because I love watching documentaries on war heroes, generals, and all this. And so Alexander the Great, it's fascinating backstory. But like back in the day, not just Alexander the Great, but many back in the day, from actually not that long ago, and even probably today, right, that the punishment for somebody who's betrayed someone was, and maybe even still is, depending on the country, is death or jail, right? Especially in mafia kind of situations. And I'm not promoting, I'm not promoting killing anyone. No, not at all. No. And I'm not, obviously we don't have the means to put someone in jail. So what do? Well, what you do, the best punishment for somebody who's betrayed you is to cut them off completely. Remember, like I said, they are a piece of shit. Remember that. They did that to you, and you caused nothing for them to do that. It's their own pride, their own insecurity that caused them to betray you. So therefore, they are a piece of shit, and they are toxic, and you need to remove them from your life 100%. So that's that last thing. Move on. Get over it. You're better than them. You will be better than them. And do not let someone who's betrayed you to pull you down to their level. All right? So hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments if you've been betrayed and how you've dealt with that. All right. We'll see you next time.